Today I have for you a 2006 Toyota Sienna. I'm looking to add in this Sienna a button that has a backlight, and I want that backlight to dim and brighten with the dash. Sounds easy? A little bit harder than you might think. So originally I had just put in this light, or this backlight on the switch, and I just put it at full brightness, ran it right off of the dash, so when this is on or off, or rather when the whole vehicle is on or off, it would just come on full brightness or not. That was kind of annoying, especially at night. So it got me thinking, I got to figure this out. I have a coworker who has a 2007 Toyota Sienna, and his, I believe, is an LE trim level, and I noticed he had something down in this lower left corner that would dim with the dash. So that got me thinking, I got one there too. I just don't have it hooked up to anything. So I got access to this. To do that, I had to pull up this door trim panel, and then that just pulls straight up and pulls out of these. There's kind of a tab that slots into the edges of these here. That comes straight up. Then this panel here, there's a stud back there. You have to unscrew the plastic nut. It presses on but unscrews off. And then once you got that off, this piece pops off, and there's a press fit trim feature there that you might have to replace. I can maybe put a link in the description where I got a ton of those for super cheap. They're okay, but anyways, there's two screws here that would come off next that are holding the knee panel on. Once those come off, you just grab it and kind of just give it a tug, and it'll pop out. There's some pop-in features across here, and then you've got access. So what I did in this investigation, I have my voltmeter here, and I have that hooked up in parallel with this 12 volt LED, and then off of those I have these two test leads. And so lucky me, I found right here on my 2006 Toyota Sienna the wires that are responsible for dimming the dash, at least in this lower section, are the green wire with two gray dashes across it intermittently, and then a white wire with a red stripe, and again two gray dashes across it intermittently. So I will show you here exactly what this does, and I'll try and get my voltmeter in view as well, and I have my voltmeter fixed on the range, so it hopefully will show it was fixed on the range. There we go. So now you can see, and now of course this is not really a true voltage reading. What's going on here is there's a 200 hertz signal. I'll show that here. Takes a second to read it. 200 hertz signal going, and I can switch it over to duty cycle, and so then they just play with the PWM to adjust the actual brightness, and then it'll trip out here once it gets to basically 100. It stops thinking. So that's what we end up with. It works just perfect. So I'm going to put my switch in and go from there. Just as FYI, I thought about using another ground for this, thinking it was just a high side driver on the positive that was doing the actual switching, and actually that 12 volts seems to stay constant, and the negative, I thought, was then switched, which it is, but it's switched. It seems to be shifted. It's not the same ground as the chassis. So in amongst playing with all this, I went through a number of iterations of plugging these in, and I was able to get it to dim, but it was dimming opposite to what the actual dash was. So I believe you actually do need to use both these wires. I don't think there's any way to tap into a constant 12 volt or constant ground source for this application. You have to use those two wires from all I can tell. So anyways, hopefully this helps somebody if you're looking to add your own dimmable feature in your cabin, and that would be the best way to tap into it that I can see. Have a great day.